till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah. No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Greek DeFi Guru here with another great Thursday Night Live for all of you. Once again, we are joined by Jeremy from Johnny Blockchain. He may have some big updates for us and hopefully surprises us with some things coming forward. And as always, we got Chris Cruz, who is the live legend, who is just the pro. And it's great to have you with.
Thank you.
I didn't
Thank
think
you.
anybody was
Privileged to
gonna
be
join.
here.
Nobody responds to me anymore. They're just like, nope, staying away. Man, how's it going, guys?
Absolutely 100% 9-karat gold. Wonderful.
Can't get better than that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, great day for me.
It's
Bitcoin day,
it's-
so
yeah, it's exciting time, isn't it? It's exciting time to be in crypto. If you're not in crypto, you've got to be, I don't know, you must be sleeping under a rock, or you've got to be crazy, because this is the time. And I don't know whether anybody's looked at what's going on in the market at the moment, but we're in this bear bull market. We're in this pull down because, you know, I think the authorities and are trying to crack down, especially in the US. I mean, the land of freedom is the land of regulations, isn't it? You know, you can't even pick your nose without them regulating it. So this is why you need to be decentralized. Decentralized. And when people get their head around decentralization, let's face it, if you ever gone on an aeroplane, if you ever tried to walk through an airport with a bar of gold in your pocket, you know, 100 grand's worth of gold, they're going to take it off you. They're going to assume that it's not yours. You've stolen it. Control. If you go to an airport and you go through security and you say, I've got 100 grand, or I've got 50 grand, or I've got 25 grand in a plastic bag inside my case, they're going to take it off of you because it's not yours, it's theirs. They're going to assume you've stolen it. It's called control. Nobody ever talks about the control with money. And then
You're
when they bring out
100%
these
correct.
CBDCs, these digital central bank currencies that are programmable, they're going to be able to stop you. So they're going to say, Greek, you've filled up your car with gas too much this week or this month. You've got to cut back your carbon footprint. Your money's not able to
Talk to
buy
my boss. Tell
gasoline
him to have
anymore.
me work from home more. I don't want to drive.
Yeah,
I told my boss that
that's
instead of giving me a raise, just have me work from home. I can obviously work from home, but they don't trust me that I'm not going to
Greek,
be
if
on
I
my
was your
screen.
boss, I'd make that happen. That's what I'd say that right now.
Yeah, like the job is the same thing. I always tell them that,
Mhm.
And speaking of the money with the airport, I walked through with $15,000. I was on my way back from Vegas, and I hit, and I kept telling myself, man, I should have just gotten a check. And I was so worried the whole time. I'm like, all I need is for them to be like, open your bag. But I'm sure they see it a lot coming from Vegas, so nobody said anything. And I'm like, whew, they would have thought I was making deals or something.
Thank
It was
goodness.
just winnings, and it wasn't all
that
mine. I made bets for other people.
Well, 5 years ago, we did IVF in New York, okay, for my first son, or 6 years ago now, and we bought an apartment in New York, and we thought, we did all that transaction from the UK, and then when I got to New York, I opened up a bank account, and I said to him, "Look, I'm here for maybe 2-3 months. And I want to transfer some funds. Is that okay to transfer?" And they said, "How much?" I said, 100 grand. So he said, "Yeah, no problem." It took 2 weeks for the money to get there.
Oh, geez.
2 weeks for the money to get there. And then when it got into the account, they froze my account. I had to fill out a form from the RRS, whatever it is, to say where the money come from. So in the end, I thought, forget it. Reverse the transaction, send it back. I'm not interested. I sent Bitcoin to my Bitcoin debit card that, these prepaid cards. 15 minutes, it was on there. I could spend it. Nobody said a word to me. That's what decentralization is about. You've got to be decentralized. And cryptocurrency ticks all the boxes, doesn't it? Ticks all the boxes.
I had a bank make a mistake where they transposed somebody who's closing their account, and they transposed the numbers, and they accidentally closed my account. And I went in to make a debit card purchase, realized what had happened. So I went and talked to the manager, and she goes, "Yeah, your account was closed." I'm like, "I never closed my account. What's going on?" And so I'm like, "Well, I need the money. Is there any way you can get me the money?" She goes, "Well, we got to talk to our corporate." I'm like, "It's my money." And I couldn't even get it. So I've dealt with it's ridiculous what
It is, yeah. And another story, just a quick one before we get going, is I've got a brother in Australia. And I went to Australia and I said, "Can I open a bank account?" "Yeah, I'll take you down there." So I opened up a bank account. I put in £1,000 in there, spent a bit of money while I was on holiday, used a bit of crypto on my card, but I just had that because some places wouldn't accept the card that I was using. And I had $300 left at the end of the holiday in there. And I said, I'll leave that there. I'll have it next time I come back, which I'll go back the following year. 6 months, my brother phoned me and said, "You've got a letter. They've closed your account for inactivity." I went back to the States, to Australia on holiday again the following year, went into the bank. I had to jump through hoops to get my little tiny bit of money back, to reactivate the account. What's that all about? They just steal your money, don't they? If you didn't go in there and fill out all their forms to say why you'd not used the account and all this, it would just take your money off you. It's just mind-blowing that people still trust cash, because if it's in the bank, it's not yours.
Mhm.
Kevin Rowlandson, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He wrote nothing, but then he wrote, "Greek, thanks for all you do. I appreciate it." And then Jaime comes with, "Chris is truly amazing," and then says, "You too, Greek." I see how it is, Jaime.
He's
I see how it is. But thank you everybody for joining. Like always, welcome. If you have any questions for Jeremy about Johnny Blockchain, obviously, if you want to join Johnny Blockchain, my link to join is down below, so you can use me as a referral. Yeah, cheap plug. Okay, sorry. No more. I will not plug it anymore. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Jeremy's here for you. And We had him on last week. So if you didn't watch last week's, we really dived deep into everything Johnny Blockchain. And what really thrilled me was the DeFi part, the decentralized part. And that's why we brought up decentralization to start this conversation, because it's huge. I mean, banks control everything. Centralized exchanges, you may think it's safe. You may think you're on Coinbase, but what happens if they make a mistake? Like my friend put money on Binance this past week, and they reverted his thing and then said he owed something on his account when actually he didn't, because they reverted the transaction. They eventually figured it out, but for 6 hours, he was locked out of his account. Now, that's simple stuff that can happen, and they're in control then. There's no control on your part. You're relying on other people to fix something. So that's why I'm always talking about not your keys, not your crypto. Get off the exchanges. You can utilize exchanges for on and off ramping, quick on and off ramping, because they do offer that kind of stuff. It's easier to buy stuff. Like my Bitcoin, I buy through an exchange, transfer it out like 4 seconds later. It's always transferred to my cold wallet where I keep all my stuff. So just be safe out there. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto, and decentralization is the way to go. So talk to us, Jeremy, about what you got coming up. Hey, Jeremy, you're muted. Oops.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you're
Can
good
you
now.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
I accidentally
sorry.
muted you again.
Yes,
Trying to unmute you.
I'm muting and you're unmuting and muting and muting. That's it. Something along those lines. So what we're doing is we're introducing a DEX bot. Now, just a little bit of history with before I talk to you about the DEX bot. Johnny Blockchain is not a new website. If you go and look at look up who is, and you'll see how old the site is. We started off as an arbitrage robot on centralized exchanges, what they call the CEX, those centralized exchanges. The robot worked fantastic to start with, but then we started to run into trouble because of tickers being the same. And I think that one of the tickers that was one that used to come up a lot was one that was called IOTA, OTA. And that coin has multiple other coins that are not obviously related in any shape or form. That may have changed now, but when you're doing an arbitrage on a centralized exchange, you're looking for Bitcoin, for example, say on Binance, and you're also looking for Bitcoin, say on Bitfinex, which I think actually have gone into a bit of trouble. I'm not sure. And what you're doing is you're buying Bitcoin, say on exchange A, then sending it, you've got to withdraw it, deposit it into the other exchange if you haven't got any Bitcoin or USTD, whichever you're doing the arbitrage with. You've got to withdraw it and send it across. Now, that creates a couple of problems. Obviously, one, you don't want a robot being able to withdraw out of your exchange, okay? And the other thing is that if it does withdraw out of your exchange, you've got that time frame when it, the blockchain speed. Now, if you hold the coins, say you've got BUSD, or say you've got Tether and Bitcoin on one exchange, on exchange A, and you've got Tether and Bitcoin on the other, you can do the arbitrage, almost in the blink of an eye. But that's great if you're doing Bitcoin or you're doing Ethereum or you're doing top coins that are out there. But once you get into these lower coins, you find that the ticker's different. And then, of course, you've got to look at the coins that are not listed on exchanges. They're only on decentralized exchanges like PancakeSwap and like Oopsie when it comes out. So you could be missing opportunities from coins because they got the wrong ticker, and you lose money because you don't lose money if you say, oh, I bought this wrong coin. It doesn't matter. I can sell it again. But of course, every time you do a transaction like that, you're paying fees, aren't you? You're paying transaction fees, you're paying blockchain fees. So decentralized is completely different. It's a completely different animal whatsoever, because you're not looking at the ticker. You're not interested in the ticker. You're looking at the smart contract. And a smart contract is like, I don't know, I'm sure you have them in the US, but it's like a serial number on a particular bill. So if you've got a $100 bill or a $10 bill, there's a serial number that's unique to that piece of paper. And so a smart contract is unique to a coin, because the smart contract is the coin. They just happen to put another cloak over the top and give it a name, and then they create functionality for it, hopefully utility and all that type of stuff. But you're dealing with the smart contracts, so you can't make that mistake of getting the same ticker, because you're not interested in the ticker, you're interested in that. And also with smart contracts is it's all open. It doesn't matter where it is, on what exchange it's on the blockchain somewhere. It's sitting in a smart contract, which is a liquidity pool. And you can find those in a blink of an eye, providing you've got this arbitrage or this smart contract sniffer, I'll call it, that can go out and look what's out there, what's on the market. And, you give those sniffers a name called aggregators. They aggregate all the different exchanges, look at all the different smart contracts, all the liquidity pools on there, and you can utilize that. Now, Johnny Blockchain wants to get into that decentralized, and we're almost at that door where we're going to be knocking on the door and saying, get open, because we want everybody to be able to trade with decentralized. And I think, Greek, you set up a bot we've already set the decentralized thing up, but it's not switched on at the moment. We're just showing people the mechanism of how simple it will be for you to set it up. The only thing that Greek didn't encounter at the moment is when he set up his bot, he wasn't asked to interact with a smart contract via his MetaMask wallet, which that will be an extra step that he will need to do. Eventually, he will interact with his MetaMask wallet.
So here's how easy it is. You just go to trade AI robots. As you can see, this is the one that I did set up. But let's say, how do we set up? We just press plus. And you can do a new robot. And here you would just click DEX trading. And right now, is this the only pair you guys got, is Wrap BNB and BUSD so far?
Yeah, that's the one we're testing on, because we haven't made it live. We're testing it to make sure that we're getting, the backward and forward signals and whatnot.
So when this is live, basically, if you don't have a pair, you'll be able to put in the smart contract that you want to trade, right?
Yeah. Well, what we'll do is we'll first off we'll pick some pairs that are tradable, and then as we go further on, we will basically allow you to put in a smart contract, or because if you go to say like Pancake, for an example, you go and pick a trading pair, there'll be a URL at the top when you've got that trading pair, because first off it'll say Pancake swap.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
And then what you'll do then is you'll go to trade, and you'll maybe go to simple swap. You'll go down to simple swap on Pancake. This is what you do at the moment. Once you're there, you'll pick the two pairs that you want to trade with. The URL will change. You may not notice it, but that URL is the trading pair. Now, on that URL, if you get rid of HTTP Pancake swap / there'll be a contract, which is the contract for that liquidity pool.
Oh, I've never noticed that, but you never look at that stuff when you're trading.
You don't look at that stuff. So that contract, eventually you will bring that back to Johnny Blockchain, and you will put that into a box, and that will then pull up that contract for you.
Okay. I think it's really good at the start just to have like set pairs that are like stable for people to choose from, and test it out and really run the bot through.
The problem is you see, with the pairs we're going to choose, and you're totally right, because what we'll find is, but people, if we let them put anything in to start with until they get their head around it, is they're going to blame us. They're going to say, we traded on your platform and you lost us money. Well, it's got nothing to do if somebody withdraws the liquidity out, rugs the platform, There was a coin that came out yesterday called Husky, and I went and looked at it. It came, and I've got a little front end bot that I've got, and the liquidity pool was opened with $50,000. So I thought, oh, I'll have a look at it. So I went and had a look at it, but the liquidity pool wasn't locked.
Oh.
So I watched people putting it in, and I was waiting to see whether the devs were going to lock up the liquidity pool. I watched the liquidity go up. I watched the coin rise by 2,000% in less than a minute. It's now got a liquidity pool worth $12. They took the liquidity out. They'd made themselves maybe 50 or 40 grand in the matter of a couple of minutes. They rugged it and they've gone. And that's the problem you've got to be with decentralized, that if you're not doing your due diligence, and I'm not asking everybody to go out and do their due diligence, then you can get rugged. So if we're gonna set up our decks, we want to set our decks up with websites that are already running, that have already got decent pairs on them, and they already give their own warnings. If you go on Pancake, for example, and you import a contract from a coin that they don't know, it's going to show you a big warning. You're going to enter this coin in at your own risk. This is a new coin, and Pancake have got their own risk assessment there. Uniswap have got their own risk assessments there. Obviously, you have control because it's a DEX, it's decentralized. Yeah. And the same is when Uzi comes out. There's going to be scams that come on there. There's going to be scams, and they're going to pair up with. They're even going to pay, Brian to be in one of these tiers where they've got a liquidity pool, and then they're going to lock up the liquidity for 60 days or 12 months, and at the end of 12 months they're going to rug it. That's going to happen. It happens all the time. If you want to see a liquidity pair that's locked up for a good number of years, then you're pretty safe. And I think Brian's done that, isn't he? He's locking up liquidity for a good number of years. So that's when a project is safe and the community can feel confident. Obviously the market conditions dictate the price, but the community can feel confident that the owner's not going to, rug it. And then also, if God forbid anything happened to Brian, it can still go on because the liquidity is locked up, because the project is about the liquidity. Once they get the core coding out there and it's all live, and they've dotted the I's and crossed the T's, they release it onto the market. It's all about liquidity. That's what it's all about. And Brian's doing things to bring in extra liquidity by bringing in these, setting up these liquidity pools himself, and putting in, his own money to set these liquidity pools. That's like the snowball, isn't it? It's like you standing at the top of the mountain, picking up a ball of snow and saying, right, now let me push it off the mountain, and it will build up momentum exponentially, and it could just explode,
Exactly.
So we're in a brilliant thing. But what I want to do is I want to share the screen.
You want to share your screen?
Yes, please, if I may. So if you give me permission, if that's okay.
Yeah. You remember how to do it. You just put present. Yeah.
Share screen. Yeah, share screen, and I should have.
I was just doing some simple playing around with it today, and just creating the bot. And I'm like, it's very easy to set up the bot. Obviously, when it's live, it's going to be different. You'll interact with the contract, which will add some things. Perfect.
So hopefully you can see this. So this is going to give you an idea of how things will work. So if we look at the top of the screen there, we've got number 1, and that number 1 represents all the MetaMask wallets of all the users. So they will approve a smart contract. This is the way that we believe that we're going to do the final stage. Now, we are testing a couple of other ways, but I don't want to go into too much. I want to keep it simple and use this one as an example. So you'll interact with the smart contract. Now, what you'll do when you interact with the smart contract, let's just say that you were going to trade the Vol token with, ESCO, for example. You're going to trade that trading pair. So you're going to pick those trades.
No.
We lost him. Hopefully he gets back. But yeah, let's see.
I know I'm on the edge of my seat, man.
So Crypto Man says, Greek, you think we can make more than 1K a day with nodes when Esco is on Vulcan? One way to help make this happen is you need transactional volume. Having a bot program set up like Johnny Blockchain, this is why this is important. The more users you have running bots, that's a lot of transactions they're running. Obviously, bots are running tons of transactions, and that will help. Projects, obviously, you need projects on your blockchain from the start. Can it happen? Probably not. I'm just going to be 100% honest. It's probably not going to be feasible from the start because you're obviously going to have a build-up period. So can it happen? I'm not saying it's out of the realm possibilities. Who knows how many projects? Who knows what, once we have the hackathon back up and running, how many projects come out of that? People are looking at right now the project list, and, it's not a lot, but you do have a lot more that's still coming, and a lot more just want to wait. Like, look at how many projects just in this Pepe stuff. It's a Pepe a day. It's like 16 Pepes a day. You can get like 55 Pepe Elon Musk, Pepe Pepelon Mars, Pepelon this, Pepe Dad, Pepe Taco, Pepe Nacho. You got all these projects that are running. And this is why when Brian mentioned a while back about a partnership with Pink Sale is huge. And people go, we don't want these scam projects on it. Well, if you're a node holder, if you are on the network and you want the burn to happen and you want people transacting, you want as many transactions as possible. So if you can get a Pink Sale and people can just launch easily, and you can set it up where right when it's done on Pink Sale, it goes to Uxie and it's ready. It's right on the DEX. That will be very easy. You can have all these meme projects. I don't care if you don't have to invest in them, but all that volume that they're getting, people coming in, bringing them to Vulcan could help. So that's why that is huge. From the start, probably not 1K a day. I can't, once we see them in action and we see what they're, obviously we need a better calculator. I know the calculator we have, me and Dan created, Prado. It's weird calling him Dan. We created that based on numbers they have, but it's never been officially like put in place saying this is it. Hopefully we get some news regarding that. Crypto Pride's in the house. If you want to join, you're always welcome. All these questions for Jeremy, I am starring, so I will go back to them for everybody. Compton says no invite like always. And I did invite him, so you guys know he has been invited after I saw this comment. He has been invited. Pride says he's ready to get his cake BUSD on. Yeah, that's going to be a good pair too. I'm just ready to have something working for me where I don't have to pay attention to it, because a lot of the trading I'm doing while I'm at work, it's very tough because I can't be looking at charts 24/7 when I got somebody pulling me into an office wanting to have a meeting, or a carrier wanting to talk, and I have to go on a 20-minute conversation with a carrier when I'm like, no, I just want to trade, So, yep, he just zipped on out of here. He said, enough for you, Greek. So Chris, what is up? We got Gamma on the way. That was good.
I'm telling you, I'm super excited. I'm super bullish. Did you I'm a fan, but have you seen Jason, his Twitter? He puts out some amazing images, and he put out one today that was just, it's looks like a bull, and it's gold, and it's pretty awesome.
He's on fire. Jason is a must follow on Twitter, and I want everybody sharing his stuff. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I'm actually going to put him on my tweets page because his stuff is just so amazing for the community. So in my Discord, I'm going to make sure that I get him on the tweet page. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I keep forgetting, when I'm at work and I'm busy with everything. So it's easy. I'm just going to have it on the bot, and it's going to kick into my tweets page so everybody can share his stuff. I steal a lot of his graphics, or a lot of the stuff I used to steal. And when I was doing overlays on my videos, that's kind of the stuff you're seeing. It's constantly his. But then I'm like, I got to stop taking all this stuff, because my pictures was on my phone was like 80 pictures of just Vulcan, Esco, and I'm like, oh man, I have no room for anything else. But yeah, when I totally missed that tweet from Brian yesterday where he was going on and on and on and on and on about the rebasing and
Mhm.
fire pit is working flawlessly. And those are huge words, flawlessly. You don't say that lightly, you know. And for anybody who's thinking, oh, but have they really tested it? They are constantly testing it. That's why they're not bringing it out to us, because they don't want to bring it out, show it on the blockchain, show it on testnet, and then have issues with it. So they are making sure. If they weren't 100% sure, they're not going to bring it out. That's why when he says Gamma next week working flawlessly, it got me excited. And that is really, 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 really good. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for that stuff. Once we get that, hopefully people start getting excited again for Vulcan. It just seems like you go in the Discord and it's silent. We've had 2 messages on Discord since 6:00. So where
Well, I
are the
mean,
people?
people are I think they're there. I think it's more like I'm in that camp of I'm excited, but I don't want to be too excited. I don't want to be getting anxious and all that. But I'm real excited about Safe Go. So I'm spending more time in my Discord when I go through there. I'm like, I got to go to Safe Go. I think about Vulcan, but I'm also like, look, don't get too excited about Vulcan. Just slow it down because I'll get too anxious, and then I'll be like, come on.
I hear you. Yeah. I'm okay with this because the last thing on there is 2 messages ago at 6:00. I put my hour warning for my video for this live. So anybody who goes in there, they have to see it. So I don't have to keep plastering it. So I'm happy.
Yeah. I made a short when I saw that on YouTube that with his announcement. I was like, look at this. I was so excited. I put I said something like Gamma is coming.
Well, when did he release that? That was actually after. So yesterday afternoon was Daniel was doing his live, and it was a longer live going through all the, the congressional hearings and stuff. And I was going to go on and film a video. And then I got pulled into a meeting and I was all pissed off because I'm like, all right, I got pulled into a meeting, so I can't do my video today, but really there wasn't much to talk about. And then that gets released, and I was going to talk about it at night. And then my roommate decided to do the barbecue from hell.
Oh, I heard
and,
about that.
and then I had 20 people over at my house. So I really got pulled to the side. So here's the moral of the story. He was smoking a pork for the first time. He thought it was he thought it was roast beef. He didn't even realize he was cooking pork. So he put steak seasoning on it and totally, it's just unbelievable. So it was edible though. So at least we had that. Jeremy's back, guys. Don't worry. Never fear. Jeremy is here.
I don't know when I lost the internet because I'm sitting in a hotel.
You were just explaining. You said all the MetaMask wallets react with a contract, and then that was it. And then you went.
Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I share my screen, I'm going to come back to see. I don't know if I can come back to you guys to see that I'm still online because I don't know how that works. So let me try sharing the screen and share the entire screen, a window there.
Yeah, for Ari goes, Greek, I got your referral code for Johnny Blockchain and Pride. I got your referral code for SPRITZ. I do have my SPRITZ referral down below, but I want every single person to go and use Pride's referral because Pride is the SPRITZ master, and I'm sure you can find one of his videos and use that. All right, nothing's showing up here. What's going on? It's spinning. And for anybody who might be wondering, Hex, they've said, oh, we lost him again. Hex is 6 days away. Within 6 days, they're going to launch their blockchain. Now, I was joking with Jeremy prior to the show, or he was joking with me because he's a holder there. He said they said that last May too. So who knows? We could have Hex. And Pride actually has some news. So Crypto Pride says, thanks. Got SPRITZ interview Saturday. So make sure you tune in for that interview that he's got going on. I think Jeremy's having issues every time he shares his screen. It's probably too powerful. Yeah, we understand he is. Where was he last week? China or something? China. But I'm just going to show you. This is basically how you set up the robot. And so what I just did is you can change your profit trigger, which is where you want to take a profit. He's got it set at 0.08. Obviously, you can mess with these. You can change it as much as you want. I just wanted it at 1%. So I changed it to 1%. And so anytime, like last week, he explained if it gets over 1%, you're in the profit zone. As soon as it retraces that 0.1%, it will sell. And that's how the bot will work. The allocated funds, obviously, I'm going to be starting off with probably higher than 600. But what it does is it does it in batches of $20 orders. So that's how it sets it up. And he can explain way better. Obviously, I would be running mine infinite, and you can set up auto compound where as soon as your profits, it will just keep adding it to your bag and keep running that through the bot. So, you could do that auto compound and stuff. And that's basically what I did. And then I just named the bot Greek. And this is how the DEX, but when it goes live, you supposedly will have to interact with that contract and just giving it permission from your MetaMask wallet to be using that. So obviously, as we said last week, to set up a new wallet that you've never used before in your life and put the funds there. So it's only for Johnny Blockchain. So obviously the funds that are in that wallet are only being used for Johnny Blockchain, nothing else. So you don't really have to worry about that. And we got Jeremy back.
So I do apologize. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's just every time you share your screen, it loses it.
I'm not going to share the screen because that's obviously what it was. So you've got to visualize that picture that I put up. So at the top, we had the MetaMask wallets, which is everybody in the system. They will approve a contract for a couple of coins. So coin A and coin B. Now, when you approve those coins, you will be asked to say how much you want to approve. So let's just say that you've got $20 sitting in your MetaMask wallet and you want your robot to keep going. Well, then you need to approve your MetaMask wallet, say, for $1,000. You don't have to have the $1,000 because what it means is when it does the first trade and it comes back, makes you a profit and you've now got, say, $21 in your wallet, it wants to do another trade. But if you only approve it for $20, it won't do another trade because it already did that trade.
Yeah, because it does it in batches of $20. I was explaining that to everybody.
Yeah.
Then it goes through these steps. So like you want to have a way higher approval, especially if you're running it infinite.
Exactly. Yeah. So you could approve it for 10 grand, for example. It doesn't have to have 10 grand in the wallet. It just means that the smart contract can interact and say, well, we've done 20, we're doing another trade. We've now done 40, we've now done 60, we've now done 80 and so on. Even though at any one time you might only have $20 in there because you keep taking out the profit. I don't know. But that's what you'll do. Now, what we're going to do then is the smart contract will then talk to our system. And our system will talk to the smart contract and also communicate with the DEX. And when the trigger to buy order comes into play, because you can set there, if you see that green line on the Greek screen there's a thing. It says a price move up or down. I think it's what 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, come to the left there. It's in the middle of the screen. It's where all those blue and red things are. So up the screen and then to the right. It's just there. No, on where you are. Sorry, I mean on the bits just on that green band there, that green banner. Oh, you'll see that
initial buy-in up or down. Okay.
That's it. So you would set that. So let's just say you were buying Bitcoin, for example. You were going to trade Bitcoin and Bitcoin was pumping right now. You might say, well, I don't want to buy in right now. I think it's going to have a pullback and the price is going to go down. So I want to buy in with Bitcoin when it drops by 2%. Or you might see that Bitcoin's going down and you think, well, it's not quite at the bottom yet. I think it's going to go down by another 1%. So I'll buy in. So you can put a minus number in there. Or, of course, you can put a plus number in there. The amount of zeros that you put in would more or less say there's a slight movement in the price, up or down, and it will just buy. So depending on what you their default settings are there, but depending on what you set that at, that will tell our system to say when you want the robot to start. Now, when that point is triggered, the bot will send a signal to the smart contract to withdraw the $20 worth out of your wallet and place a trade, and it will come through our system to place the trade. Now, this is slightly different from a DEX, because if you go on a centralized exchange. Now, when you go on a centralized exchange, when you buy, if you're doing a market order, and let's say you're buying Bitcoin and you've got USDT, you use USDT $20 and you buy Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is immediately inside your wallet. You can visualize it on the screen, okay? Because it's inside your wallet. Now here, your Bitcoin will be inside the smart contract. Now you can close the order at any time and say, well, I want to close the order and I want to take out the Bitcoin. So it will just give you the Bitcoin. Now that obviously won't show as a profit, because if it was still in the smart contract, it means it hasn't reached a profit point. So when it does reach a profit point, because you started with, say, USTD, it will then sell the Bitcoin and put back USTD. And what you should have is more USTD than what you started with when you first started the trade. So you'll have a place where you can cancel and if you scroll up the screen actually to the top, you can see that at the top. If you scroll, that's it. Now you see there on that box on the left, you set the name for the coin, you choose the trading pair, you choose the exchange, and then below you've got, obviously it says active, then below you've got some options. Now you can come in and edit those options at any time. So you can have your bot run infinite, which it will just keep trading. You can just run a single trade. So you might want to buy some Bitcoin and you might say, well, I want to sell my Bitcoin when it 300x's. And you'll put, 300% profit in the profit side over to the right there. And then when it does that, it'll just sell the Bitcoin. It just do one single trade. Now, if you've got a trade that's open, you can come in and change the settings. You've got one there that says, stop buying, don't do any more buying, and sell with a profit or break even. And then the other option is to close the trade. I just want to get my money, and it will close it and it will show it as a negative trade. Now, I can tell you this now, that 70% of the negative trades that we show on our front screen there on the Johnny Blockchain homepage are from people doing that bottom action where they bought a coin, it's gone down, they don't see it going up, they let human emotions get involved, and they manually come in and say, let me get out of this trade. That shows up as a negative trade. So 70% of the trades that get a negative return are people's human emotions getting involved. It's better to let the bot do it. If you set up a bot, our strategy that you've got there, if you scroll down that screen and you added it all up, the strategy can handle a 98% drop in the market and still make you a profit.
I remember last week you were going over this and you said, do you know how many stages does it drop before, like how many stages you've seen it drop? And you said like step 7's like the most you ever see it really go.
Yeah, that mainly step 7. If you left the default settings, if you were trading with, let's say you were trading Pepe, for example, on the DEX. Now that being a meme coin can go pump, 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 and then just smash down to the floor. So what you could do is, if you were trading a meme coin, this is why we give you the settings so that you can change them. You might say, well, I'll take profits at 3%. I'll keep taking profits at 3%, but if the price drops by 30%, then buy in. If the price drops, so you bought in the first one, you bought in immediately into the market because it's pumping. So if you scroll down the screen again, so we can see that green banner there, that's it. So that's ground zero.
Will
That's
it do the
ground.
second buy-in too? Like I know it's buying in batches of $20 and it's running those concurrently. So it won't do the second buy-in until it meets this criteria as well, right?
It won't do the second buy-in until it meets the criteria of lot one. Lot zero.
There it is.
So yeah,
Drop
so
before buy, so 2%. Okay.
yeah, so you can set that drop if you're trading a meme coin, for example. You could set that drop to sort of like 70%, 30%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're only trading. So you're picking up your trade. So if you get into a meme coin and it's starting to pump, and you say, "We'll trade $20 or $50," and it buys, it makes profit. But so it buys lot zero, and it makes a profit on lot zero. It's going to buy lot zero again. It's not even going to look at lot one. It's just going to keep buying and selling lot zero, lot zero, lot zero. So then there come a point where the meme coin is starting to turn round, and you would have bought in. So you'll have a $20 trade open. You've made $100 already, but you've got a $20 trade open, and now it drops by 40%. Now, the worst case scenario, you've lost $20. So now your $100 profit that you've made has gone down to $80. But if it buys in at you've now got it saying that lot one, you want it to buy in at a drop of 40%. So it now buys another lot. So now you're into it for $20. So now your profit is $60. But let's say that when it drops 40%, it rises by 5. And it sells lot one and makes a bit of a profit. It now brings down the price of lot zero because it's dollar cost averaged in.
Yeah.
Then it does another buy on lot one, and it makes another bit of profit because it's never gone up by 40%. It's only going up by 10%, 5%, 12%, 20%, 38%. It never got to the 40% that it dropped at, but it will keep making profits, and it'll eventually be able to sell both lots, even though it never got to that price ever again. It reached an all-time high. It never got there. And a perfect example for that, if we want to look, is, when we had this last bull run, prior COVID, before COVID, pre-COVID, sorry, coins pumped right up. Bitcoin did, SAFU, Titano, they all pumped up. Then they had these big drops. Now, SAFU, for an example, is still there. Still there. So if you had a bot that was trading SAFU, yeah, you might have 20 lots open, but the bot still can trade. It would still trade now down at that lower end, and it would keep making those profits where SAFU's rocking between 30 cents and $1. It's making profit, 30 cents and $1, 30 cents and $1, 30 cents and $1, and it keeps bringing down the average price of the core of the lots above, and it's going to get to a point where it can close one of the lots. So if you leave your bot to run, in most cases, it will get back your profit.
Now, one question I have with because people are going to wonder this, obviously the pairs you pick, there's taxes involved on some coins and some don't have taxes. Mm-hmm. How does the bot take into account taxes that are going to be if a coin has a 10% buy and sell tax, how does the bot deal with that?
Well, the bot will automatically set the profit. So if you say I want 1%, well, the bot knows it's going to, I don't know what the mathematics will be, and this will be wrong what I'm about to say. If the sell tax was 16%, it's going to say, well, it wants 1.16%. Obviously, it's going to do the buy as well.
Automatically factors that in.
It will factor that in, so it knows when to sell to get you the profit. Because obviously,
that's more difficult to do. So I'm just trying to steer people, take into account the pairs. You don't want high tax pairs because then it makes it a lot more difficult.
Well, you see, we're going to come to a point where we're looking at it now, and because you brought it up, I'll say we're not at this stage yet. Let's say that we've got $1,000 worth of people, $20. Everybody says I want $20, $20. Now the company take a trading fee. Now we want to build up a treasury fund. Okay. Now that treasury fund at some point is going to be able to handle the trades minus taxes.
Okay.
So what you're basically doing, the treasury fund, we'll use Vol as an example. Vol is rebasing. So if the treasury is holding Vol and you want to trade Vol, well, we've counteracted the fees because we're rebasing. So we're basically be able to do a trade for you. You'll send your Vol. Now you will, because you're sending your Vol via the smart contract, there's a fee there. Now, when it gets into the smart contract and you say you want to sell for USTD, for example, well, the Treasury may have enough USDT to send you the USDT, bypass the fees, you see. Now we've got your Vol, we're rebasing because we've kept it in the Treasury fund. And then eventually, when you want to send your Vol, you'll get it back the 16% because there's enough money in the Treasury fund from the rebase to pay your fee for you. So it's pretty mind-blowing of where once the system gets up and running and we get, I'm not going to say this is going to happen at ground zero. That's not true. But we're going to come to a stage where, because we charge a trading fee on our debt, on our centralized exchanges, which is 25% of a profitable trade. Now, I've had one person contact me and said it's way too high. Well, it is way too high if you're keeping that for the company. But it's not way too high if you want to use that for good later down the road. So First off, you're using a proportion of it to obviously pay the company for running costs. You're using a portion of it to pay people that want to promote and bring in people into the business, and they should be rewarded, because if you work in a job and you're a marketer and you work at a desk, you get a salary, for making those phone calls, for doing those cold calling, you get a salary and you get an extra bonus because you bring in more customers than somebody else. Exactly. So you'll have some people that will join Johnny Blockchain that don't want to promote, and they just want to use and make a passive income. So collectively, as a community, we're going to be building up a treasury wallet through those fees. And there'll come a point when we can eradicate trading fees to do with contracts where they say there's 16% buying tax and 20% sell tax and all that. We will be able to eradicate that because, especially if you're in a rebasing, if that makes sense, if you're in a rebasing contract. But we're not at that stage yet. But that's the path we're going down. It's good to know.
And I just want to make sure the bot took into account taxes because I'm sure people, that's one of the things. Well,
that's why in the beginning we're going to choose the pairs. We're going to choose pairs that are not taxable. Good thing.
And that's why I like that too. It's like make it non-tax pairs, make it easy, play around with it, make sure it's working, get the user base on. And DKC asks, I can't connect to Binance. It does not work in the US. That's why what we're talking about now is extremely important. Is there's a whole market that's untapped with this bot, and he's working on the decentralized portion. Once he has that set up, you won't have to connect to any exchange to run the bots. It'll be all decentralized, and that's basically what we're talking about here.
And we got the untapped market that we got is huger than maybe people realize, because we've got a guy that I talk to regularly. He's in Africa and he's got a massive community. He said, but my community are not banked. They don't have a bank account. If they want to buy crypto, they got to go and buy a prepaid card. They got to go to a shop and give that card over, get their crypto. They've got it on their wallet. Now they can't get into an exchange because they don't have a bank account. They can't get KYC because they're in a country that's, Africa, Pakistan, India. These are big, massive populations. China are banned. I'm in China right now. China banned this platform I'm on now. China banned Facebook, China banned Twitter, China banned practically all of the Western exchanges for crypto. China banned mining in there. They bought out their own CBDC, and they're doing it now in Shanghai province. They've got their own CBDC. Now, if you're Chinese and you want to get in, you need decentralized. If you're Indian or Pakistani and you're in the lower end of the community, the poorer end of the community, and you can't get a bank account, you're unbanked, crypto is your way into the financial markets.
Exactly.
And all you need is an internet connection, a MetaMask wallet, and you're away. That's it. You can trade. So the market potential for this is massive. And as we go forward and we bring in more and more people, we will readdress the fee structure. We will look at how the fee structure goes. There'll always be a fee. There's always got to be a fee because, we can't function as a company without a fee. Because we're not taking anything from your trade. We're not saying, well, you've got to give us, you're paying in. We're not taxing you. Like, if you go into
if you took fee from every trade, regardless if it's a win or loss, I want people to understand when he says there's a fee. So if you make $20, they take 25% fee out of that $20, but you are up money. So the fee's only coming because you're up money, and you did nothing for that. The bots are all doing it. So obviously it's working together with Johnny Blockchain, and that's how they're making their money. It's not coming off of the backs of just they want users, and if they don't care if the users are making money. If the users are making money, Johnny Blockchain's making money. So that's where the fees are coming from.
And you see, also, Greek, is with us, our closest competitor, okay, it doesn't do DEX trading, is EasyBot. Now, if you want to have unlimited amount of bots running with them, you've got to pay $1,500 up front for the year. They don't do a monthly plan. It's $1,500. You're out of pocket $1,500 just for joining the platform. Now you set up. They also charge a fee, not as high as us, but you've got to make back your $1,500 that you put in, plus the money that you're going to trade with. You've got to get in profit of at least, $1,500. So you've got to make $3,000 just to sort of break even, haven't you? Where with us,
that's a lot.
You haven't got to make any money. You just couldn't say, well, I've got $20 sitting in my MetaMask wallet. Let me connect it. Let a trade be done. And the trade's made me $1. I've now got $20.75 sitting in my wallet. And that's it. I haven't had to pay $1,500. I haven't had to chase my money that I've put in to start with. Now, why are they taking that big money? It's because they haven't got the confidence in their bot. Because if they had the confidence in their bot, they would put their money where their mouth is. They'd spend their money on development. They'd spend their money on hosting. And they'd say, okay, use it for free. And when it makes a profit, we'll share a bit of that profit.
Yeah.
That says a lot to me. That says that, we're confident that our bot will make you a profit. That's what
I also want to separate this from, because I'm sure everybody's heard of the bot plays that, offer, okay, guaranteed 3%. You're not in control of the bots at all. Like as the consumer, you come in, like I've been in bot plays like that, and they offer you stuff, but there's a lot of Ponzonomics around. So this is totally different. I just want people to know that.
Well, you see as well, I joined a company called CFX, and they do that Ponzi-nomic. They've got this big compensation plan over a zillion levels, but they say they're Forex trading for you. They've stopped now withdrawals for 2 years. You can't withdraw your money. My back office still shows that I'm earning 1%, 0.5%, 0.8%. It's all buffalo dust. It's total buffalo dust. No real trading platform will say to you, you're going to make 1% every day. And if they do, they're lying to you because they can't do that. They can't sustain that. You might make 3% one day, and another day you might make 0.1%, and another day you might break even. Another day you might make losses. You've got to average all that out, and you won't be 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. But what they do is you see, lots of people join these platforms because I've done it myself. I've been a victim to it myself. They go in with a low budget because they say, oh, we're offering a variable rate, and it could be anything from 0.5% up to 2%. And you go in and they pay you 0.5%, and they pay you 1%, they pay you 0.5%, they pay you 2%. And what do? You compound. You compound, you compound, you compound, you compound, you compound, you compound. And all you're doing is you're leaving the money in the system. You've got a number on the screen so that they can pay the people that are not compounding.
Yeah, and they're using your greed so that you're not pulling out to then take money that's coming in to then pay out other people. So it's like you want to be the first one to get out. This is totally different, and that's why I like this. Biz has a great question because we all are going to be on Vulcan. We understand that Gamma is a week away. The rebasing now is working. The fire pit's working as we got that news. Now, explain how this will work being on Vulcan. Would our buy-in be with Vol or UXI?
So, sorry, so with your
So the buy-in, like let's say you would obviously have a trading pair. If it depends on what the trading pair is, but you're collecting your fees.
Well, why can't we have both?
You probably could have both, yes.
You know, at the moment on Johnny Blockchain, if you go and set up a centralized exchange, you can either trade with BUSD or USTD. So
No,
we lost him again.
there he is.
I'm back.
You're good.
You're back.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm watching my internet. I've got a VPN and it's plopping up and down. So yeah, you could have both, because at the moment on our centralized bot with Binance, you can trade with BUSD or Tether. Now our DEX bot, we're starting testing it with BNB because it's wrapped BNB we're doing. But you would choose what you want to trade with. We could say, you could trade with BUSD, you could trade with Polygon, you could trade with Aave. It depends on what network you're on. Obviously, if you're on a Vulcan UXI, you could say, well, I want my trades to be in with UXI. But again, you've got to look at what you want, the end result. Now, I say this to you, and I don't say it to be negative in any way. If you've got a bag of Bitcoin, or you've got a bag of UXI, or you've got some gold, you can't take a bit of that and go down and buy yourself a loaf of bread. You've got to put it back into a fiat currency. Now, either you're going to put it in your bank or you're going to use a card that converts it for you. Yeah. So I would be asking the question, what is it you want to do? If you want to increase your bag of UXI or Vol, then obviously you would choose Vol as the starting coin, because you want to increase your bag. But if you say, well, I want to trade Vol or I want to trade UXI, but I want to get more dollars, I want to get more euros, I want to get more pounds. So you would choose a stable coin as your starting coin, because you're picking up, and whatever way you do it, you're adding to the community, because you're trading with on the platform. It doesn't even matter if you say, well, I don't want to trade Vol, or I don't want to
waiting to hear about their stable coin, which one they're going to have. Obviously, they got to get the blockchain working first, but they will eventually have a stable coin. Live Freedom had a question earlier in the show, and I kind of started. Which prepaid crypto card did you use? Just wondering if there's one we don't know about. I know Ultimo lets you load 20,000 at a time, I believe. So is there a special?
I use. I haven't got me affiliate link, so your Wirex, WIREX. Now, when you say load 20,000 at a time, I don't know why you'd want to do that, because unless you're going to buy something for 20 grand, you don't need to do that. I have an app on my phone for my wallet, and I may be different. I don't on-ramp. I've not on-ramped for the last maybe 7-8 years. I only off-ramp because I earn enough crypto to off-ramp. So I'm
you're
not
the opposite of me. I only on-ramp.
Right. So if you're on-ramping, then you don't want to use, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you don't want to use Wirex to on-ramp. You want to use maybe your Coinbase or something like that. Buy yourself 20 grand's worth of coins and put them in your wallet, not on Coinbase, not on whatever. You put them in your wallet, the 20 grand, because not your keys, not your coins. When you send 20 grand's worth of crypto over to Wirex, not your keys, not your coins. So what I do is I put on £500 worth of Bitcoin or BUSD or any other coin that I might have. And when that's starting to get low and I go to a restaurant and I'm sitting in the restaurant and the bill comes back and says it's 550. That's not happened, but I'm giving an example. I'm not that lavish. I spend very low. I can just get my phone out, go on the app, transfer Bitcoin, transfer BUSD. At the moment, Bitcoin's a bit slow, so I'll transfer BUSD. I can transfer any coin I want over to Wirex, and immediately that's on my card before I've finished eating my meal.
Ultimo sells the crypto, right? So when you load it up on your card, it actually sends it to your offshore bank account. You have a debit card that you can use. So it's basically an offshore bank account. And I think they don't report it. They don't report it. So that's why I think it's
You'll have to send me your link. I'll have a look at that.
I don't have an Ultimo card because it's $600 to sign up, but then they load 150 in your account. I was waiting till I started getting profits and things to then. I
found if you're using, I use Wirex. Now, unfortunately, you do have to go through KYC. But in the UK, I get gift cards. I buy gift cards, and those gift cards in the UK can be funded with crypto. So I've got one that I use for the grocery store. I've got one for for clothing, and I just go and say, well, I want to buy myself a new shirt. I look in the shop and say, how much is the shirt? And they say, it's £100. And I get to the checkout and they say, do you want a bag? So I say, just hold on a second. I just want to transfer my Bitcoin or transfer the crypto over. Use my card. Bang, my gift card. And again, these things obviously are trackable, but in the UK, they don't see crypto as an asset. They see it as like they would see a table. So providing you don't sell the table, you don't pay any tax. And the same is with your crypto. Providing you don't sell the crypto and put it into a fiat country, in my case, the pound, I don't pay the tax. So if Greek said to me, I've got a car, and I say, will you accept Bitcoin? I've not sold my Bitcoin. I've just transferred it over to the Greek.
Yeah.
I've just now avoided tax, haven't I? And it's not tax evasion. It's a bit like Greek said to me, well, I'll take 5 of your tables for my car. I've just given him 5 tables. He's given me his car. So that's the beauty of crypto, is that you can stay sort of below the radar in a sense.
Pete Costa has a good question. How many operations does a bot do per hour, day in the case of arbitrage, and when other exchanges beyond Uniswap?
Well, once we got Uniswap, so I'll answer the back end of the question first. Once we got Uniswap, Pancake used Uniswap's code. I don't know if anybody uses it. They just copied Uniswap's code and made it. There's many other dexes that have then copied Uniswap's code. That's why we chose Uniswap. So that means that once we got Uniswap up and running how we want, we can just copy it, change a few bits in the code to say, well, don't look at Uniswap, look at PancakeSwap, look at Banana Exchange or Ape Exchange or whatever they're called. There's so many. So once we got Ape Swap and all that, so you can use all of those. Then when Vol comes online and Uxie, I don't know how you pronounce it. I say Oxy, but it's Uxie, isn't it? But anyway, when Uxie comes online, we're not 100% sure what their code's going to be. Now, has Brian's team taken Uniswap's code, like Pulse Chain did? I think they did the same. They took it and adjusted it for themselves, because there's nothing wrong with that. It's all open source code. It's open source for a reason.
A lot of people do that.
It's open for a reason. There's no copyrights. They put it on GitHub and they say it's there for everybody. And maybe, somebody else will improve it, and then Uniswap will look at it and say, that's a great improvement. We'll use that code now. We'll update our code with that. That's what the brilliance of it is. So when Uxie comes online, we will want to see whether, I've already asked Ed
Man,
I know.
You look at that.
There
Look,
you go.
we got you. We got you again.
Yeah, so we want to see. We've already asked Utsi's devs have they got an API key, because we need the API key to get the price. We don't do the trading via the API. The API is done by smart contracts. So we can. The moral of that story is we can add as many decentralized exchanges as we want once we got the first one. So let's go to the other one. How many operations does the bot do per hour? Well, how long is a piece of string? If we had one user, we would check the price every minute. So that means we're doing 1 minute is the operations. Now, if we've got two users, providing they didn't both join at, say, exactly at 10 o'clock in the morning, then we can do more. Because if one joined at 10 and one joined at 1 second after 10, that means now we've done another call, because we saw the price, what it was at 10. And then the second person comes on and says, well, I want my bot to start immediately. We'll start the bot. We'll bring back a price call. So we now have a price call that's a second apart. Now, we could have somebody that joins at 10 and then somebody joins at a tenth of a second later.
Yeah.
So you see, you can't say how many operations per hour it would do. But if everybody started,
depend on price movement, because how you set up your bot. Like if you set it up at 5% to take profit as opposed to 1%, and it's jumping up, you could do 5 transactions if you had it set at 1% versus the one at 5%. So it just depends too on how you set up the bot. I would assume.
Yeah, of course we're cashing not in monetary terms. You know, we're keeping data of what the last time that we looked.
Yeah.
Now, so let's just say that you got, 1,000 users, and one of those 1,000 choose coin A and coin Z, and nobody else chose coin Z. That user, we will look at the price now. Minute later, we'll look at the price again. We're looking at 1 minute candles. Normally, a lot of traders are looking at 15-minute candles. So they won't make a move for 15 minutes. Well, we're making moves. We could potentially be making a move every minute if you're the only person trading that particular pair. But if other people are trading that pair, we're caching the data. We're saying, well, the price is moving literally every second, because everybody set their bots up at different times, you see. So it's really difficult to answer that part, but hopefully that answers it.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then another question we had from Kokomo: does the app report all trades profit loss for income tax purposes? Obviously,
no, it can't.
That's a good thing. If you're decentralized, same thing as now. You can make unlimited trades. Nobody knows. It's just your wallet address tied to it. You don't have to KYC to go on Johnny Blockchain. As you can see, in the upper right, my first name is the Greek DeFi Guru. I didn't even have to put my first name in. So
yeah, exactly.
It was giving me issues with putting a profile picture. No big deal.
Yeah, maybe it's too. But we'll come back to that type of stuff when we're up.
Load a picture.
But that's who cares if that's working, as long as the bot's making me money. I could care less.
Yeah, we're focusing on the bots at the moment. There's other tools that are not working. You'll go on pages. We say we're in pre-launch, just the same as Vol is and Utsu. We're in this pre-launch, and we've not marketed Johnny Blockchain in any shape or form. I do a couple of YouTube videos. I come on channels like this. I've gone on
once this
Pride's
thing's
channel.
up and running. And do you have a date, by the way, of when you're estimating up and running? I know last time you were saying hopefully by the 15th.
Well, we said by the 10th, actually, we would have a DEX bot in place, I think. And we got the DEX bot, but we haven't made it live. So we could make it live, but we haven't debugged it. We haven't gone we got to run it, and we're only running it with one pair. So then we're going to then introduce other pairs. So by the end of this weekend, we should have done enough things where we may open it up for certain users. We may say, well, Greek, we're going to open you up to trade with just B&B, for example.
I'm collecting my money waiting for this.
Just testing. But, what we don't want to do is release a smart contract, because once you release a smart contract, it's done. You can't go in and change a smart contract. So you got to make sure
Exactly.
the version that you put out is the version that you want to keep. There's nothing more worse than, and as I was about to say, in Crypto Pride, they're the only people that are promoting.
We will.
And we got
I will push
26
this
users.
out. I will promo. I will do tutorials because I see advantages of this. Human emotion is the craziest thing. Like especially for people, humans and their emotions. And
well, we've got right now. Sorry to interrupt there. We've got right now 47,000 members. 26 of those members are in the UK or in Europe, and they've set up bots. The majority of our members are in the USA. 47,000. Do you believe that these 47,000 have joined just to look and not do anything? They're waiting for a DEX. They're waiting for a DEX, and it will explode when the DEX comes on.
Oh, that's fully intend. I think it will fully take off. You'll get a lot of data, and it will be great. JMS, thank you so much. A lot of good info, Jeremy. Thank you. Talking to me, the Greek, but thank you so much. I appreciate everything, and thank you so much for the super chat. Crypto Pride, who you mentioned before, he has 50 credits but want to do strictly DEX trading. Can he transfer credits to another wallet?
Johnny blockchain credits are for using the tools. So those credits will be, you can't transfer them to somewhere else. But if you're, when you say another wallet, you've got them inside your Johnny blockchain account. Remember, we've got lots of tools that we're building. Okay, we're going to have an arbitrage tool. So we will charge some credits maybe to use the arbitrage tool. At the moment, we're not charging a trading fee for the DEX bot. We're only charging a trading fee on the centralized. So we may say that people have got to buy credits. We may come to a stage where we don't do credits and we introduce a Johnny blockchain coin. We may come to a stage where we replace credits with Vol tokens. So you'll only be paying in Vol tokens or UXI tokens. Our first step is to build this DEX, then evolve from there. That's what our first step is.
Yeah, and it will be really good once you start getting a ton of users on. You might be like, we don't even need the credits because you're making the bots are working. You're showing good data, and you're making a good amount, and then that will be a lot of good stuff. He says he needs a new wallet for the DEX though, but
yeah, but that's he's the wallet he's connected at the moment is connected to deposit his BUSD. When he goes to trade, he can choose another wallet to trade from out of the same account.
So when you're setting the bot up here, when you click OK, like when you just click save, when it's live, it will have you connect the wallet that you want to trade from.
Yes.
So that's different than he can do the DEX and still have his wallet where he gets all the other tools for everything.
He could also have different wallets.
Well, there you go.
He might say, well, I want to have a wallet that's trading BUSD. I want to have a wallet that's trading USTD. I want to have a wallet that's trading.
Every bot that you have on
every
the
bot could be
every
bot that you set up will eventually you'll be able. It's not going to be in the beginning, but eventually you're going to be able to have whatever wallets you want. Then we're going to move to other wallets. We're going to, UXI will have a wallet, I'm assuming. Evolve will have a wallet, so we'll be able to connect those wallets. So there's so many Web3 wallets that people prefer. There's no site at the moment that's really connecting Bitcoin wallets. Well, there's a wallet that we're looking at the moment, and we're looking that we could connect a Bitcoin wallet, so you could trade with Bitcoin. So it's
nice.
It's so that the world is our oyster once we've built the bot, because it's all open source. Other developers might come on board and just do an improvement because they're part of the community and say, well, look, there's a bit of code that you could do, because our code's going to be open source. You'll be able to see the code, what we're doing. with the smart contract. So there's so much that could
That
really, it's exciting of where it could end.
Yeah, that's very exciting, and I can't wait. If you want testers, I'd gladly test. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well,
Um,
we're gonna choose people with we're gonna choose some testers, people that understand that things can go wrong, you know. But you know, the majority, I'm not saying being rude to anybody, but some people join, and if something goes wrong in the crypto world or online, they just point a finger. They don't say, well, oh, okay, yeah, that was a bug, or yeah, that was my decision.
yeah,
I actually went in and changed the setting. I clicked on the button. You know, we record what a wallet does, or what you know. So if you was to go in and click a button, and then put in a support ticket and say, well, there's a bug, I didn't click that button. Well, we would know you've clicked that button because we put that coding in to see what people do. Because
exactly.
people will say there's a bug even just because they've made a mistake, and they want to blame us for, blame the the developers for it. So you know, we will choose the people in the beginning, people like yourselves,
Yeah, I
and
was
the
part of
20.
the KYC testing for the nodes. So like,
There you
they had a
go.
group
You know,
of testers that are like, they would they're obviously the API with Twitter was having some issues, so then they made it so you can do manual, but that all came about because there was that bug. And you don't realize
mm,
sometimes that a bug exists. And sometimes the fixes are so easy. And you get
yeah, of
feedback,
course.
you're like, oh wow, I never thought about that until you go
Mm.
through some testing. So it's very, very good. And I'm happy to see that things are progressing. I know the timetable you gave last time, you gave the 10th, and you didn't even have this up last time. You couldn't click decks and do all this stuff, right?
No, no. So we're hoping after this weekend that we should be able to, um, certainly next week we're hoping to be able to give people access. Now we obviously, our dream would be to launch before Utsi comes on board. Um, get everything running, but we're treading in new water here, so we're not sure 100% how it goes. You know, the programmer, we've only got one programmer, but he's my business partner. He's an absolute god. You know, we don't have the money to go and spend out because programming is expensive. You know,
Oh, exactly.
programmers can spend a week and not get anywhere when you're doing stuff that's new. If you're doing stuff that's already done, well, it's easy. You just copy the code and adjust it. But when you're creating raw code, it's not. And Brian's team will tell you the same. It's when you're
I'm glad
creating
you
raw.
said that because I'm sitting here. Oh man, we lost him again. But I'm glad he said that because what it's basically getting at is, the rebasing on Vulcan, and that was the main hang up. It's something new, never been done. It's very easy to go in and take code that's already been done and change it up and use it for yourself, make a, run of the mill blockchain. But that's what separates us. And that's good that, somebody who's with experience is saying the same thing. So a lot of good info, and Jeremy's back. Okay, it's quick this time. Man. Yeah, I'm glad you said that about the coders because it's exactly what Vulcan's doing right now. The new stuff, the rebasing, the fire pit, the firestorm. That's where they're having the issues on the code. It's not
Mm.
the blockchain. If it was just this run of the mill blockchain, this thing would have been done and up already. But that's
Yeah.
good that you
Well,
said that.
it's no good buying a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, and you put your cup in the cup holder, and the cup holder breaks. And that's what you got to do. If you're in, we're entering into the Rolls Royce phase of blockchain. It's the first blockchain that rebases, the layer one blockchain. It's the first blockchain where the owner is putting all this money in to open up liquidity pools. If you're sitting there complaining about a start date, then you shouldn't be in business at all, because you shouldn't be doing this business or any business at all. You should stay in a day job and collect your check every month, because you've got the wrong mindset, or you're over leveraged. You spent too much. So you should be thankful that the cup holder is going to work when you sit inside that Rolls Royce, because somebody's taken the care to dot all the I's, cross the T's, and that they've you know, they've made their quality control checks so precise and so good that you get a finished product and not a product we say, sorry guys, we're going to have to relaunch on Vulcan V2 because we forgot about the cup holder. That's what you've got to be. We're going to be driving a Rolls Royce, and sometimes many of us are going to be in the physical form as well. You know, we've got such an amazing opportunity here with Safu Go, Vulcan, and you know this and Utsi, and the whole ecosystem is just mind blowing. It really is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love these questions. When does Vulcan launch? That is the $1 million question. Right now, we're looking end of Q2.
Yeah, so you're looking June-ish, somewhere around there, end of June, isn't it? Somewhere around there.
If Gamma is out next week, that is a huge step forward. That is every piece of code that's like the new and the stuff that's never been done before being implemented. That would be a good sign. And they're already working on stuff. So people thinking, oh, Gamma's not out. How are they going to go through the rest of the stages? They've already been building out the DApps and a bunch of the other stuff in the further steps. So we are looking good. We just need the pesky Gamma and the projects and the hyperverse and all that stuff to start.
One thing I want to, because somebody asked me recently, they said, am I too late to get into Bitcoin? And am I too late to get into Vulcan? Well, first off, you're never too late to get into Bitcoin. Second, if you want to get into Vulcan, it's not launched yet. You should be looking at buying some Safu. It's not financial advice, but if you've got $10 or $100 or $1,000, whatever it is you can afford, your pizza money, I call it, go and buy some Safu. That would be a first good move on the chessboard. Buy yourself some Safu, because when Safu Go launches and Vulcan launches, it's all going to be one door's going to open after the other, isn't it? You know, but you want that first key, don't you? You want a bit of Safu, I would say, right now. And of course, set up a Johnny Blockchain account for free and use the link in the description. You know,
that wasn't me this time. I didn't push my link on anybody. You did it for me. But yes, use it. Okay. Yeah, and when you want to have your account set up so you don't have to do all this process. Also set up two-factor authentication so you don't have to go through the whole process again when this is live. So when it is live, you're just like ready to go, and you can actually play around with some of the bots like I did and set it up. It doesn't run. It's not running because obviously it's not connected to anything, but you can just see and go through and do your own research. This is what I always say to people. The first thing I did is I signed up after our live last time, and then I went on and I went through all the site, and I'm like, okay, let's go through everything. Yeah, we just did 2 hours show, but always do your own research, look at things, make sure you're comfortable with it, make sure you know where everything's at, so you don't have to ask questions. Or if you do have questions, you can ask me, and I can ask Jeremy if I don't know the answer, because I have looked into it myself, and that's what I like to do for every single one of you, is make sure I'm just as educated on what I'm covering and what I'm signed up in, so that I can help others with questions.
So you want a Johnny Blockchain account, a free account, doesn't cost you anything. And then also there's a link come up on the screen there. Click the link. That's the link you want to join under. And then what you want to do is set up a MetaMask wallet. If you've already got a MetaMask wallet, you then maybe want to add another wallet, which is another account under that wallet, and give it the name Johnny Blockchain Dex, and that's the wallet you're going to trade out of. So it's not touching the wallet you've done your sacrificing. It's not touching the wallet where you
already have one. Johnny Blockchain. Johnny Blockchain is the wallet name.
Yeah, there you go. And there's videos in the back office. Go to the Getting Started page. Go to the user guide. You'll find there's a video shows you how to set up a MetaMask wallet from scratch. Shows you how to do a lot of things on Johnny Blockchain, and obviously we'll update those videos as the changes come on board. I'll put videos in there for everybody to look. But
I want
familiarize yourself.
I know as we're getting closer to Vulcan, people are getting excited. I had some community member reach out to me. He has some light nodes for sale. So if anybody's interested in some light nodes, just hit me up and I can. Well, Jeremy, I'll talk to you in the
Okay.
DMs. And these are not mine. So for anybody, the rumor mill starting, these are not my light nodes. Those are not for sale. Those are already in wallets set up for my nieces and my nephews and my goddaughter. So those are not for sale. These are from a community member, wanted me to ask. He had some hard times and he's looking to get some cash that he needs now. So if anybody's interested, reach out to me. Perfect. And that's the end of the comments. I don't know if we got anything else. Chris, you got any questions, concerns?
No, I did. I had a couple questions that come up, but Jeremy answered them while he was talking.
Yeah, he's very thorough
Mhm.
and very easy to talk to. Andrew Avery Price. If you reach out to me, I don't want to say it but it's a good price, trust me. It's well worth getting these light nodes.
Yeah, I'll definitely be interested. I'll also, depending on, I would be interested in, and then offer him a buyback at some point if he wants to do it, you know. So,
well, there you go. Oh, you have a Discord now, huh?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, I got a Discord. I've never used Discord before, so I'm a Telegram guy or a WhatsApp and a WeChat. So I'm fumbling around with Discord. So if you want to come and join the Discord group, also I'd like to, if you go to Vulcan and onto the listed projects, Johnny Blockchain's on there. You know, come and give us the thumbs up on there and show us a bit of support.
Oh, exactly.
I think we're 6 on the list. There's 12 projects there. So we would like to see, and of course, any feedback. Anybody's got any feedback, you know, they can always comment. I've got Facebook, I've got Twitter, I've got YouTube. You know, I've got a YouTube as well, a YouTube channel with 10,000 followers. So, you know, you can, any questions you've got, either direct them through the Greek or Pride, and they'll find their way to me. Or, of course, you can reach out to me. I'm not saying I'm going to answer because Facebook is ballistic.
Exactly. Mario Z has a question here. The bot default settings, are they optimal settings for bot trading? Will these adjust over time based on results coming from a first-time bot trade?
That's exactly why it's an AI bot. We're also, I didn't mention, we're looking at introducing copy trading, which will be, you know, so if Greek sets up a bot and he goes and changes the default settings for a particular pair because he's up with that particular cryptocurrency and he does extremely well on it, you may want to copy his bot, basically his bot settings. So there would be a fee that would go to the Greek for doing that, because he's giving away his information, his insider information. So there would be a fee involved that you would pay, a one-time fee, or you may share some of the profits. We don't know, but we will make it profitable for traders to come on, adjust the settings, get the bots running so that they not only make profit themselves from their own trades, but you can copy them and they make a bit from you as well.
If you have like a bot leaderboard just showing like...
Yeah, we will. These are so, you know, we've got a long list of things that we want to do.
Yeah, obviously it's getting it set up first. Then it gives you all these possibilities and all these great things you could do. And
well, we want to make money.
You said this earlier. I'm glad. I totally forgot about you were saying you had the copy trading. I'm like, man, we were talking about that in the pre.
Yeah, and also we're also already started to develop. I use it myself. I've got raw code that I got on my computer for front ending, and that's something that's going to be mind blowing. Front ending bots, and then you.
No.
Front ending bots are going to be huge. If you
and arbitrage bots,
yeah.
Not just and cross chain. You know, you might buy. Let's say that other chains like Pulse Chain, when it comes out, let's just say that Vol is on Pulse Chain. You could be buying your Vol on OOTSI and selling it on Pulse Chain as an arbitrage, and those types of arbitrages, because they're smart contracts, they happen in the blink of an eye. They're not cumbersome and slow like a centralized exchange. So arbitrage is another thing that we started off with. Arbitrage, that's where we started, on a centralized exchange, like I've said earlier. That's how we started. We started with arbitrage. We've already got arbitrage bots built that work fantastic, but the tickers can be the same. We've only got to change it to say, don't look at the tickers, now look at the smart contracts. And there's your arbitrage done. So it's just mind-blowing. It really is.
That should be exciting. And I'm glad we thought of all this new information here that we almost forgot about. Aurora's Publishing says, appreciate the info and viewpoints. Thanks all. That's what we're here to do. There's a lot of stuff that's available with these bots, and it takes human emotion out. It allows you to have passive income come into you without you doing anything. Obviously, yes, you do have to go on the site and manage a little. Nothing's totally 100% user proof. You have to set it up. You have to view it. You can see how it's performing. And if you want to try different settings, like first day, you see how it's performing. You're like, let's try this setting. You can do that and adjust it. So there is some user input, but it's good because every time I'm trading, the greed gets there, and that greed kills you. You give up profits because you want more profits. And then you end up selling for less profits than what you originally had when you were saying, should I sell? Should I sell? I always say, when you ask yourself, should you sell? You probably should have hit the button already. And that's always when you're day trading. When you're day trading, trying to make small profits, not when you're if you're holding long term, it's different if you got different stuff. But yeah, my emotions always get the best of me. I'm like, oh, it's going to moon. It's going to moon. It's going to moon. And then all of a sudden somebody sells before you and you're like, no, I'm not in profit anymore. Destroy my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you had a bot taking care of that, the price can still tank and you could be still making a profit because your bot can buy back in.
But when you're doing it yourself, you start once it's in your head, you're just thinking, oh, I gave up all those profits, and then you're not thinking strategically how to, the bot doesn't care. It just runs numbers. Math doesn't lie, and I always say that math doesn't lie. So the bot's just running on pure math, simple as it can be, and
Yeah. And also, I didn't buy Pepe, but I nearly FOMO'd into Pepe. I'm glad I didn't, because I would have bought somebody else's bag, So this again was where robots, especially a front end bot, you won't have that problem of FOMOing because you'll be in at the grassroots, But front end bots come with a lot of risk, because somebody can, if the liquidity is not locked up, you can be rugged within the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, So, it's been really good to be part of this amazing call again. I love coming.
Biz has one more question. Can you refresh our listeners the bonuses that will be in place just using Vulcan?
Yeah, so Vulcan, when you, at the moment, the bonuses for centralized exchanges, okay? Not the decentralized, because we don't know how we're going to do the fee structure, but on the centralized exchanges, because we will add other centralized exchanges, if you pay in with Vol and you buy Johnny Blockchain credits, because credits, you need to add your centralized API keys, you need to use these credits for using the portfolio screen and some of the other tools that we've got on there. If you pay with your Vol, you get your credits, but you eventually get back 125% of your Vol. So you get back your principal plus a 25%. Obviously, it's not going to be as much as if you just kept your Vol and it rebased, but that's just rebasing. You're buying a product, aren't you? If you went and bought a pizza with your Vol, your pizza's not going to rebase, is it? So look at it like this. You're buying the pizza, you're eating the pizza, you're enjoying the pizza, but you're going to get a refund of the money that you paid for the pizza plus another 25% on top. So that's what will happen. You'll also get prize tickets. Now I know we've got this racing thing that I don't know what it's called, but I saw Brian's post about
Yeah,
the
the
racing.
ESCO, the pods, yeah.
Yes. So we've got something, not racing, but we've got something we're calling a lottery that is based on everybody that pays trading fees. A percentage of that will go into a lottery prize. You will be given prize tickets because you've used Vol for free. There'll be an extra bonus. So you'll not only get the 125% back, you'll get the Johnny blockchain credits for free. You'll also get a prize ticket. That prize ticket will give you the ability to win a week's trading fees that are being collected. You see, a proportion of the 25% trading fees that we collect, some will go to the company, some will go to the upline, but some will feed this lottery ticket prize. Now, I don't know what that could be. At the moment, that lottery prize is up to $2,500. That thing. So that when we launch with Vol, somebody's going to get $2,500 worth of Vol paid into their wallet. You know, so if people that came in early and we had a sacrifice phase where, like Vol, you could sacrifice to get your Vol. We did the same. We said you can buy your Vol at $9 through us. Yes, you're not going to get rebasing, but you'll enter into the prize. So we've already got a treasury fund of about I think about $8,000 or $13,000 worth of Vol that we're going to get as a treasury fund. So our treasury fund will rebase. You're
building a treasury already. That's good.
Yes, we've already got. We sacrificed. People gave us BUSD. We bought Vol with that. We sacrificed it for Vol. And so when Vol launches, the treasury fund, which we've got in our white paper, there's a treasury wallet. That treasury wallet will have a fund of Vol in it. That will start to rebase. That rebasing we'll be looking at giving out in prizes. We'll be looking at it to give away, to try and eliminate trading fees. That's what my goal is to eliminate trading fees so that it's all free for people. It's all free because if they say, well, I want to set up a bot, and let's just say we say, okay, you're going to pay $10 per year, but you've got to pay us in Vol to set up 10 trading bots, for example. Well, that Vol that we get, we would give you back 125%, plus we will use it to try and counteract the trading fees because it's going to rebase. Because we're going to build up that rebasing fund, and then we'll put that into a smart contract. We'll lock it up so that we can't take it out. We'll get the contract audited, but there are things that we're going to be doing down the line. I don't say too much about it because we're in the development stage. We're in the stage of going forward, and we want to make a system that's free for people to use and make a passive income, and the company still earn money. And there's no better way than to be on a rebasing blockchain. It's a thing.
Pride says you're not using the UK lottery no more, huh?
We will. The UK lottery was what we wanted to do. Was the lottery in the UK is drawn every Wednesday, so we could use the US lottery. We could use their numbers. So you would choose 6 numbers, and that way we can't fix it. Somebody can't say, you fixed that to go to that wallet. That wallet's owned by the company, or that wallet's the Greek's wallet, and he won that money because he does YouTube call outs with you, So we don't want anybody to be able to point the finger. So we've got to use a system that's already in place. So we could use the Euro lottery. We could use the US lottery. We could use the UK lottery. I only use the UK one because they got an API key, and I'm from the UK,
Perfect. Well, that is officially the last comment. So on that note, an hour 45 minutes. I'm gonna call unless Chris has anything further to ask.
No, I'm good. Great talking with you, Jeremy. Excited
Jeremy,
about
it's always
Friday.
great. Keep up the good work. Get these things running. I'm here to help. When this thing goes live, we'll have you on again. Show everybody how to use it.
Click the link below. Make sure you create a Johnny blockchain account. Come and join under the Greek and get ready. Get your MetaMask set up. Get your free account set up. And let's this party start. I can't wait for the party to start. I can't wait.
You and me both.
I'm excited. So on that note, we're going to end it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Make sure you tune in next Thursday. I do one live a week. I don't want to do too many lives. I'm on other people's lives. I may be on with Pride tomorrow. I got to see whether I decide to go to the driving range, golfing, or not. But I will see all you tomorrow. Thank you for always supporting the Greek, and I love you all. Never fear.